Alright, folks. This is going to be about as best as I can get it. And fortunately, maybe that good. Okay, so I was noticing I was getting a lot of chattering with this since I set it up. So since I gave it a better look, I adjusted the truss rod better, and there definitely was some spots that are bad, so I've gone over this now 3 times to get it to the point where it is now. So now what we're going to do is, again, I'll demo this by doing the frets, and hopefully, if everything goes right, I'll have leveled the fretboard and fixed any of the fret chatter that was going on. And to answer CJ99's question, it was exactly what I showed in the video. 4 packs of the regular Ernie Ball Super Slinkies and 2 packs of the Ernie Ball Slinky Cobalts. I'm sorry, Super Slinky Cobalts, which again, I've been using those ever since they came out in 2012. I don't think I'm going to put a set on this, even though with these pickups it probably wouldn't be a bad idea, but I'm just going to stick with the Super Slinkies as it is. They provide a very good basic string, and of course commonly known to be used by Jimmy Page and several other classic rock guys for their sound and their tone. So even more so. So now we got this done, let's give the block a run. The longer length is definitely better. Again, I've also left the autofocus on the webcam to try to give a better kind of see how well. Yeah, you can see where the markers came off accordingly. I'm going to assume that these are not stainless steel, but the silver nickel lower tier frets in these guitars. And the fret file seems to manage to do the job very well against these. Well, one passed down the one side. I will say, to have this little metal insert in here, I think is actually a lot better. Plus, there's a lot more length to it. Now, I don't know how good this diamond grit surface would be in regards to stainless steel, but I can already see along the edge here. Actually, you can kind of see it a bit there. There's actually already some starting to wear off. But I would imagine if you flip this around, you could use the other side to get the rest. Well, now to make our way back up the other side. Was it that Eric was saying you wanted to see a little line? Well, that's what is going on here. I'll show it better when I get through these more. When in doubt, check your locking tuners. When I was doing the fret level, the spindles of the locking aspects almost actually came totally out of my casings of the tuners. Alright. Now these aren't stainless steel frets on this neck, but you can clearly see the wear line here from the marker and whatnot. And of course my black fingers that I'll have to wash. Just running my fingernail on there. Yeah, there's there's definitely, and just looking at my fingertips, there's definitely still silver there. So the diamond grit or whatever grit he's using in these inserts is good. My hand's still cramped, of course, after doing this much of the fretboard, but this is a lot easier to hold than the one that was half the size, so that's definitely an improvement. Plus the inserts are a big improvement as well. Now we're going to finish up the rest of this, but before I do, I will quickly try to bring the fretboard up. And you can actually see the little teeny weeny lines that I have created there. Now, before I wash my hands, we're going to do the flappy thing with the higher grit to make sure they're nice and even. We're going to use some 2000 grit and an eraser just to do this. Now, I'm not going to bother to polish them because it's a maple fingerboard, and when I go to clean the fingerboard, it will clean up the rest of the frets. But I do want to make sure that they're nice and flat and polished up. And you can see here, and see there how bad or how much of the marker more I took off. So let's get the tape off and clean up the fretboard and that. I didn't bother doing the tape across the ends thing. The only thing I'm hoping by this is that, because of how bad the frets actually were, is that I don't take off too much material, which is very possible with how bad some of these frets can be at times. By the way, again, if you haven't subscribed to Chris Monarch's Highline Guitars on YouTube, I would advise you to go check him out. He's a really great builder, and he offers up a lot of tips, and he has some really nice guitar builds that he does. just earlier today actually put up a video that I had linked to, sent the link to Ken Boudreau for, do you really need to level your frets when you install frets? And as he explains it, he says, if you do the install the right way in the first place, and you do all the other kind of prep, your frets should be able to actually go in and need little to no adjustments. As he says on his own instruments, when he puts the frets in, he actually gets to the point where he's able to string up the instrument and actually play it and find only the few areas where the frets might be up. And it was like he was saying there as well too, like the key to doing a fret install is, if you don't use the press method, is to actually use the hammer method as the original way it was done. He said in regards to doing it that way, the problem is if you're dealing with something like the steel, like it is on these necks, these crafted in China necks, the junkier steel, if you're using a steel little hammer to hammer them into place, you're going to end up putting dings into the frets tops, and that's when you have to go an even further step and then have to actually do a fret level. So I think one of the things was, like, when people probably were looking at me a little crazy when I was using the big rubber mallet when I was banging in the frets. People thinking I was maybe crazy doing so. The reality is it probably was the best way to do it. Now I'm left with a big mess. Alright, now that I got my fingers clean, I'm going to need some more cleaner soon. Again, thanks to Blackjack and Bass Invader for the cloths. When in doubt, fall back to the alternative. Yes. I'm going to be sure to get something clean. Isopropylene is definitely your friend. We have one nicely cleaned fretboard and frets. And hopefully everything else. Alright. Now, we will reverse install the cables. Oh, also, as well, this plus soap will also get rid of a lot of your stains on your fingers from stuff. probably shouldn't be reusing guitar wire or guitar strings, but since they're practically new, there's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't. Except for the tangling issue, as you see here. Which, alright, had a little bit of an interruption there, but I'm back. It looks like unfortunately one of my strings got bent. I'm sure that won't be too much of an issue. Again, if not, I got the extra packs. But anyways, now for my special nut sauce that I put in the string edges in the nut. However I pronounce that properly. Yep. Good old chapstick. Just enough to get in the crevices. And that is all I do. Line up the strings properly. Run them through their trees into their nuts. Oh. And of course get the string winder. Again, I know people can't necessarily see, but this is the actual tuner I have. To tune the guitar. Start on the E. to E flat. Or 3G. Lost there. Well, that's a little disappointing, but it's a lot better than what it was. Well, And enough of staring at my ugly feet. Oh, scary. So, with that said, what do I think of the Little Bone Ice? It's definitely an improvement over the original. So good job on that, Davida, and getting everybody's feedback about it. And it works. Not sure how much he wants for the little inserts, but if he could get some better inserts, or maybe even an insert that's actually more harder steel than, say, like a diamond kind of thing in there, would probably make the inserts last longer. And yeah, as you can see, other than the few kind of rattly spots, the frets came out nice with it. So go on eBay and find one of these, or go to David's site and pick one up for yourself. Thanks to those of you that stuck along the whole long time for this video. Sorry to bore you or whatnot, but that's why you watch the channel. Take care, folks, and I'll catch you later. Have a good one.